Welcome back to the POLITY. If you're just joining us, trust me, you've missed a lot. We just finished an interview with Prince Kennedy, the youth representative for the Labour Party. And now we move on to the part where we bring Honorable Khalid Barau Ningi, forgive my pronunciation, and he's a senior special advisor on empowerment to Bauchi State Governor. Welcome to the program with us.
It's my pleasure. Good afternoon, Mr. Amadin. How are you?
I'm good.
All right, so your principal has won the second term in Bauchi State, and it's good to say congratulations right now.
Thank you.
All right, so what should we expect for the next 100 days, you being the representative of your governor?
Well, thank you very much for having me in your studio. Messi, Bauchi State Governor has a lot to offer to Bauchi State.
Okay.
You know, it's a covenant between him and the good people of the state.
Okay.
You know, looking at, you know, the kind of situation we found ourselves today, you know, the rising in poverty rate, you know, and the immortality, a lot of issues, you know, that required somebody who has a very, you know, packaged experience, you know, a wealth of experience to turn things around and change the narratives. So we have done a lot in our first term, but I want to tell you that in our second term, it's going to be, you know, a different one. Okay. Because our expectation will surpass, you know, the first time of 4 years that we have done. And we're going to take so many advantage because we've initiated a lot of policies, you know, especially in terms of procurement and so on and so forth. You know, policies in terms of contract award, that is the procurement, and domestication of so many, you know, new policies in the state, you know, and enhancing the state internally generated revenue and so on and so forth. So it's going to be a new dispensation. Okay. It's going to be a paradigm shift, definitely, yes. Okay,
I like the fact that you said new dispensation. What are you going to do different? Because I watched one of his interviews where he mentioned safety of life and properties, and we all know what has been going on right now in the northern part of the country. What is he going to do different right now? And then there's been rumors of killing certain religious leaders in the northern part of Nigeria right now. What is he going to do different this time around?
Well, especially in the area of safety of lives and property. Yeah. In the area of safety of lives. Bauchi State Governor, you know, established what we call Barota. That's the Bauchi State Road Traffic Agency. They are saddled with responsibility of, you know, creating an enabling environment, you know, to reduce congestion in the state. Traffic, they are a kind of traffic managers. They will handle a lot of traffics and reduce the cost of accidents in the state. So that is an agency that has never been, you know, in the state. It was one of his born out of, you know, contention to make Bauchi State, you know, a destination for people to come in, an investment destination. He created that agency. And in the area of security, Bauchi State is relatively the most peaceful state I can say now in northern Nigeria, because it has been, you know, a very long period of time for us to have any kind of insecurity breach in our state. And part of that, Bauchi State Governor have also initiated, you know, through the State Assembly, established a Bauchi State Agency, Youth Empowerment Agency. You understand, security is a security agency that young people will be, you know, employed, and it will be a kind of community engagement. You understand? So that people should know who comes in and who goes out in the community.
Okay, I like sorry to cut you short. I like the fact that you've spoken about job creation and youth engagement. Yes. And now that leads us to the topic for today, which is oil discovery. In one of the villages that has boundary with Gombe, you found oil in one of the boundaries, one of the rivers. That's the oil discovery, basically. And then part of the things that has been said over time for discovering this oil is saying there's going to be potential revenue for Nigeria. Absolutely. Opportunities in hydrocarbon area, creation of jobs and employment, then potential development in areas. But my concern is about the rural areas, because now take NDDC for example. That's a Warri and Kaduna refineries. There is nothing that has been attributed to these communities.
Okay, that is why I will commend the outgoing federal government of Nigeria, for the passage of the new Petroleum Industry Act. This is an act whereby it has, create an enabling environment for host communities, to be enjoying at least a 1% of the total output of that crude oil that will be extracted in that communities. So engaging the host communities now, involving them in terms of, revenue sharing or money share, the consolidated revenue that will be shared between the state, the federal government, and the local government.
You would agree with me that most of these people, it's not as if they don't share money.
Yes.
It's not as if the money doesn't get to people, but there's a case of mismanagement. How is the governor going to handle this level of mismanagement? Because there's been antecedents of mismanagement of crude oil in Nigeria. Speaking of oil thefts, is there anything your governor has put in place to actually curb all these things? Absolutely,
we are leveraging on so many opportunities. Like now, for example, with the discovery of the oil and gas, in the Kolmani River, Bauchi State Governor, in collaboration with the Bauchi State House of Assembly, have passed and established the Bauchi Oil and Gas Academy. This is an institution where it will give an opportunity for people in the communities, to have that oil mindset. You understand? The training, so that they will be engaged. Because engaging them in one or two things there, will reduce the cost of any kind of thuggery or whatsoever you may think of. So doing that, and the Petroleum Industry Act that provides a 1% revenue sharing to the host communities, that will also go a long way, you understand, in reducing that mismanagement and the corruption involved in that particular sector.
Right. Yes. Just quickly, what do you make of the accusations that the quantity of oil is not really viable, being found in most parts of the northern region, and that some of the issues we're seeing is that derivation that comes back to the host communities being the reason for these discoveries, so to speak? What's the real information about how much oil is or could be found there, and is it viable enough for extraction and actual, refining?
Absolutely, it is, because as we received the information during the official flag up, it was said that there is at least over 1 billion deposit of barrels of crude, of hydrocarbons in that area, and over 500 billion standard cubic feet of gas in that area. So if we could have that, I think it is viable and it is in commercial quantity, and it will go a long way for extraction, definitely.
But so as it stands, officially Bauchi will now be, is considered a host community, or a host community, or just as yes, pardon me. That's
we are hoping that Bauchi will soon join the oil producing league. You understand, Bauchi and Nasarawa State, they will soon join the oil producing state.
All right. There was some issue of some claims of ownership between Bauchi and Gombe. Has that been clearly resolved?
That one has been settled already.
So how did it go out?
The oil wells that were discovered, they were about 3 or more than that, I think. So the community is just a maligned community that has, the culture and traditions of people in Gombe and people in Bauchi. So there is no any conflict there, because I want to make you believe that Bauchi and Gombe are brothers and sisters, because Gombe was carved out of Bauchi in 1997. So we are just like sisters and brothers, or like a mouth and a nose. So there is no any conflict between us.
All right, just quickly, your purview is empowerment. So I'd like now to get a little bit of information as to the innovative aspects of this part of it. Now, we see a lot of, from years past, sharing of hair dryers, kekena peps, bikes, and we're moving into an age now where some of these things are becoming perhaps not as relevant in the new age. So I'm wondering, I mean, no offense to my assessment, but I know you're a young person, you're a youth. So what is the youthful idea behind this, the innovative portion where we see new forms of empowerment and not just what we've been seeing?
That is why now we are looking forward, to domesticate a new policy, especially in digital economy, where the state government will institutionalize some policies that will create, an enabling environment for startup, digital areas, so that people will be engaged, people will be opportunities will be created for young people, you understand, so that the potentials they have, it will be extracted, you understand, and it will become a market value for our own community. So this is one aspect of where we are heading to. And we have so many things that we are planning on bringing on board, you understand, because we are just rounding up the last year of our administration. But glory to God that we have secured our second term, and I hope my governor, as somebody who has a very listening ears, who is very accommodating, you understand, I am very much sure he will give us an opportunity to come up with so many innovations and creativity that could create, you know, job employment and opportunities for our young men and women.
Okay, I like the fact that you mentioned digital economy for Bauchi State. Are these people actually artificial intelligence savvy to start with? Because if you talk about the word going digital, that requires a lot of process. So would you fill us in on if these people even understand the basics to start with?
The truth of the matter is Bauchi is the northern northern Nigeria. Yeah. And you know the level of our own literacy compared to the southwest.
I didn't want to say that outrightly.
Yes. No, and with no offense. Okay, you understand? Yes, the southern part of the country are way ahead of us, but I'm telling you that we are taking our proper position now in terms of, you know, being educated and creating an enabling environment for our people to be educated. Artificial intelligence, yes, is good, but I am very much sure that if you go to Bauchi now, we have one of the best people around the globe who are working. Let me just give you an example of Dr. Ibrahim Waziri. He's an indigenous of Bauchi. He is currently a senior manager at Microsoft in the US, Silicon Valley. So you can imagine, we have one of the best mindset in Bauchi. So we can bring those people back, you understand, so that they could help our own community, grow our own community, you understand, bring out the potential youth that we have in the area of, you know, digitization and these issues of computer digital age of the, you know, of the world, and make things right and create an opportunity for our young people to come in.
Okay, I like the fact that, let's take it back to what Famous said about youth empowerment and all that, giving bikes and all of this. Is there anything in place for children right now as regards literacy, being well informed? Because there's of course there's this thing they say about if you want to kill a black man or if you don't want a black man to find answers to something, put it in the middle of the book. And you would agree with me that the record for Northern Nigeria, the number of people that are actually out of school is a huge percentage. Yes. So is your governor looking to doing something as regards empowering kids, not even the youth now, because it starts from them?
Absolutely, he is looking forward to that, because just very recently, the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Education, you know, in collaboration with a development partners, Land to Read, have distributed over 15,000 tablets for school kids, you understand, so that they will come up with computer literacy. So doing that, you know, for the young people who are coming up, they will have that computer literacy and will go a long way, definitely. Okay,
not to flog this issue too much, but then I'm still taking us back to the oil discovery.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you know, you'd agree with me that there's trust deficits when it comes to oil, crude oil, and Nigerians. There's just that thing that is there. There's that thin line that is there with, people don't trust Nigerian governors or politicians, federal government, as they're just making money from it. And then now that we've seen that, there's lots of going back and forth with bandits and all of this. And now people have come out to say, if you cannot protect us, how do you protect our reserves? How do you protect our resources?
Well, on this particular issue, I want to call on young Nigerians that we have no any other place than Nigeria. And we are Nigerians, and nobody will come from heaven and make things right for us. We must have to do it ourselves. So in that case, people will have to come back to their senses. As young as I am, I don't see anybody as a bad person. You understand? Except the person that doesn't want to leverage on his own potentials. So we have to trust ourselves and trust our leaders. That is the only way we can, you know, reach where we want to be in our lives. So the issue of trust, yes, is a very, very serious issue in this country. People don't trust leaders. Leaders don't trust their followers, you know, and so on and so forth. But I want to believe that things are changing. Things are moving beyond trust now.
Okay.
Let me just give you an example of what happened recently. I know you know about it. The young lady from Akwa Ibom, Hilda Baci, who went on a marathon cooking this. I am one of those people who went onto social media and give her a support. She's a Christian from the south. I'm a Muslim from the north. But I believe she's a Nigerian. She deserves my support. So definitely, I should give her that support. So until we begin to trust ourselves, you understand, respect each other, support each other, that is when we will realize what we have in this country.
Okay. All right, let's talk about representation. Taking a look at the cabinet currently, the government is rounding up. What is the likelihood or the chances of getting young persons in key positions in Bauchi State in the new dispensation?
Already we have young people in positions of authority in Bauchi. And in this election of 2023, about 5 or 6 young people were given tickets. You understand? Young people, and they are elected into state assemblies and Federal House of Representatives. I know about 2 or 3 young people who are representing Bauchi State now in the National Assembly. We have a member from Sharagiadi. He's a very, very young man, Honorable Sani Ibrahim Tonko. We have a member from Daraza Uganjua, Honorable Mansur Manusuru. He's also a member, in fact, a 2-term member now. You understand? So these are all young people. When you go to State Assembly, we have many of them from Alekaleri, Pali constituency, Kirpi constituency in the federal constituency of Alekaleri Kirpi. A very young barrister who was, who secured a ticket in PDP and also won an election. We have young people from Toro local government. He's also a young man. We have somebody from Ningi, is also a young man. We have somebody from Shera in Disina, is also a young man. A lot of them are there. Not to talk of people who hold executive positions in the government. Some of them are commissioners, some advisors, some senior special assistants, just like me. So the government is already a young, friendly government. You understand?
Yeah.
Our governor is experimenting the use of young people in position of authority so that result will come in. And glory be to God, we have achieved a lot. Using that experiment, young people have come in and we have seen results.
Okay, sorry to ask you, this might seem personal. How long have you been senior special advisor to the governor?
Since the inception of government.
Okay, can you give us a breakdown of what you've done as regards empowering youth in a short while?
Well, I want to tell you that I always say this, wherever I found myself. My governor has done the best empowerment program in this country that no governor has ever done. And my governor have supported the largest number of young people in terms of empowering them. Now, when we go back to what you ask, in every particular local government, more than 600 people were supported with either startup kits or cash. And that is a grant, not a loan. You understand? So people set up businesses. You know, in the north, no matter little amount of money you give to either a man or a woman.
When you say startup kits, do you mean like wheelbarrow?
No. We've never given wheelbarrow.
Okay.
We give startup kits in areas of mechanical aspect. You understand mechanics? You will see somebody in the north. He's a mechanic, probably with 2 or 3 wives. And he uses that business to feed his family, support the family, give them wealth, you understand, shelter, and so on and so forth. So, person will have that kind of business, but he might not have the kits to undergo such business. So, giving him out that will encourage him and will encourage young people who are also, adamant to get something to rely upon. They will also go into such businesses. Okay,
let's talk about the 2023 election. You took us back there now, but how was it for your party? Because of course there was a big contender for that same seat for this said governorship election.
In Bauchi?
Yeah, in Bauchi.
It was never an issue in Bauchi.
Okay.
Yeah.
The chief of staff Sadiq Abubakar.
We are talking about real governance for the people.
Okay,
and
but there were lots of support. I mean, there are lots of the campaign from one party. Of course, that's something we see over time from inception.
That is the political landscape of this country.
Okay.
No matter what, when election comes, you will see cross-carpeting from one particular party to another. But I want to tell you that it was never an issue for Governor Bala Mohammed to secure his second term. He is loved and cherished by his people. And he has done wonderfully well beyond expectation in Bauchi. So it was never an issue. Let me just give you an example. In 2019, we were only opportune to win 6 local governments to win the election. In the remaining 14 local governments is just a difference of 1,000, 2,000 votes between the PDP and APC. So in the 6 local governments that voted for PDP, it was a gap of 15, 10, 20,000 votes. That was how we won the 2019 election. Now coming back to 2023, looking at the tremendous achievement of Governor Bala Mohammed, people now feel, okay, it is time for us to join this team of success and prosperity. So we won 15 out of 20 local government this time around. And believe you me, all the people that supported our government, from the electorate to the people in town to everybody will tell you that I want to see the continuity of this government. Bauchi State was carved from the northeastern state in 1976. Since 1976, when we had our first building of government house, Bauchi has never witnessed a single renovation of government house until the coming of Governor Bala Mohammed. Now in Bauchi, we have a brand new befitting government house. And since the creation of Bauchi State, no local government secretariat in our local government, 20 LGAs have undergone just a special renovation until the government of Senator Bala Abdul Qadir Mohammed. The same government established or renovated or constructed or upgraded a primary health care center in the 323 state electoral wards that we have in Bauchi State. In fact, just day before yesterday, during the closure of the newly elected and re-elected governors of Nigerian Governors Forum, Bauchi State government was awarded by the Nigerian Governors Forum, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the United Nations Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, as one of the states, the runner-up state in the Northeast on the delivery of healthcare services. It's all over the media, you will see it. Representative of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation was there. So these are well-recognized international donor organizations that were supporting health across the globe. Said Bauchi State, you have done so much in the area of health sector delivery.
All right, quickly, can I ask about, comments about the commitment of the governor, saying as he made a bid for presidency. If he had got that, he would have just, I don't want to use the word abandoned, but he would have set aside Bauchi and then go ahead. So, people want to reconcile that. Is Bauchi's second choice?
Bauchi is not a second choice. It has been his greatest dream to serve his state.
But then he left Bauchi to contest for the presidency.
It's not that he left Bauchi to contest for the president.
Okay.
Governor Bala Mohammed have garnered an experience that Bauchi State has never had a governor like him. He was somebody who worked with the federal government for 30 good years. He stays here in Abuja with you people. He worked with a minister then. After transiting, from civil service, he joined politics and he worked with a minister of aviation then. Then in 2007, he was elected a senator representing Bauchi South Senatorial District. He served for 2.5 years. He was then appointed by the former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan as the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. He served for good 6 years. Then he now said it is time for him to give back to his own community or to his own people. That was what brought him back to Bauchi and contested for governor and won the election squarely. Now, approaching 2023, there are people in this country who believe that this Governor Bala Mohammed has a wisdom that not every individual in this country has. So they feel he has a lot to offer to this country. Because looking back at 2010, when he make a move for the doctrine of necessity, you understand, to bring a Christian Southerner and become a president just to rescue this country, you know, from a near collapse of democratic tenets, people feel this governor is a true federalist, a nationalist par excellence, who wants to see the unity and inclusiveness in this country remains forever. Okay, so as we round up, I'd like you to quickly answer. Are we looking to get in a synergy between the PDP, because we agree that your governor is under the People's Democratic Party, Absolutely. And then now the president-elect is under the APC. Are we looking to get in a synergy between these parties, and knowing that your governor seems like a peacemaker? We saw that he was trying to reach out to the G5 governors of PDP during the post-election period. So are we looking to get in a synergy, or, like you said, cross-carpeting, or is still going to be a loyalist of the PDP? Well, put aside cross-carpeting, but I want you to look at Kaura in the perspective of federalism, true federalist. You know, he has so much respect for the people of this country, and he feels this country deserves much better. So there will never be any conflict between the state and the federal government as it is today, because we are looking towards making this country, you know, a governable country, you know, a country that people will still have respect and will love so much, and a country where it will come back to its own proper place in the Committee of Nations. So I am looking forward to seeing a successful government in Bauchi, you know, working simultaneously with the federal government of this country. We will not talk about cross-carpeting, because it's not an issue. What is an issue is deliverance on the covenant between the state and the governor himself, delivering on what he has promised the good people of Bauchi State. You know, reviving that lost glory, because already the glory was lost 4 years ago, and when he came in as governor, he did a lot to make people understand and realize that governance is about people, that governance is about service. So we are hoping to see more and more of this coming between the state and the federal government of Senator Bala Mohammed. All right, thank you very much, Honorable. It's my great pleasure. Thank you. Well, dear people, you've heard governance is about people, governance is about service. That's coming from Honorable Khalid Barau Ningi, that's special advisor to the governor of Bauchi State on empowerment. And this is where we come to the end of Polity, and especially Weekend Review for today. I remain Messi Babajide.
And I am Amadin. See you next week.
Bye.